वृषभोजुजन राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर श्याम गौरी अंगे दीवो चंदनीर गंधा चामर झुलाबो कबे तेरी मुख चंद्र राधा कृष्ण प्राणी मोरा जुगल किशोर रातिया मला तीर्माला शिवदो गले आधारे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूर तांबूले राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर ललिता विशाखा जत सखी वृंदा अज्ञया पुरीवो सेवा चरणारविंद राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दास शिवा विलासा करे नरोत्तम दास राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर। हरे कृष्णा। Shall I do one more kirtan? Prabhuji and Mataji, shall I do one more kirtan?
Yes,
Till
Mataji,
Mataji
our
joins.
pleasure. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर द्वयर सागर हे दासे करुणा कोरी दिया पद छाया सोडो हे माया तो मारा चरण धोरी Chaya begadumi, chaya dosha shrodi, chaya guna deho dase. Chaya sat sanga, deho he amara, boshe sangera ashe. एकाकी आमारा नाही पाया बला हरि नाम संकीर्तने तुम्ही कृपा कोरी श्रद्धा बिंदु दिया देहो कृष्ण नाम धने कृष्णा से तो मारा कृष्णा दीते पारो तो मारा शक्ति आचे आम्ही तो कांगल कृष्ण कृष्ण बोली दाई तव पाचे पाचे ओ हे वैष्णव ठाकुर दया रे सागर हे दासे करुणा करे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Mataji is not yet joined.
Mataji, you sing very well. You continue with one more.
Prabhuji, Hari Bol. Okay, Prabhuji. I'll do Nam Sankirtan. हरिहराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधर गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी
Where were we last time?
12 2.5.12
2.5 point. The cause of all causes. The chapter is going on. तस्मै नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धीमहि यन्मायया दुर्जया मां वदन्ति जगद्गुरुम्. Tasmai, I offer my obeisances to him, Bhagavan Vasudevaya. Let me meditate upon him. So in this way, his inconceivable potency, Maya Durjaya, invincible, inconceivable potency, Maam Vadanti, Jagat Guru, he is the Jagat Guru. So let me meditate upon him. So his invincible potency influences the less intelligent people. That is what in the bracket Srila Prabhupada writes. And because of his invincible potency, the foolish people, they called me the supreme controller. Brahmaji is saying, I can create only because of his influence, because of his personal effulgence. And because of the Maya, the less intelligent people, they call me as a supreme controller. Okay, read, Kusum, read.
हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम माता जी तस्मै नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धीमहि यन्मायाय दुर्जयाय मां वदन्ति जगद्गुरु ट्रांसलेशन इन पर्पल by Srila Prabhupada की जय I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the supreme controller. Purport as will be more clearly explained in the next verse, the illusory potency of the Lord bewilders the less intelligent to accept Brahmaji or, for that matter, any other person as the Supreme Lord. Brahmaji, however, refuses to be called this, and he directly offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Vasudeva of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, as he has already offered the same respects to him in the Brahma Samhita 5.1. ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सचिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम. The Supreme Lord is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord in his transcendental body, the ultimate cause of all causes. I worship that primeval Lord Govinda. Brahmaji is conscious of his actual position and he knows how less intelligent persons, bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, whimsically accept anyone and everyone as God. A responsible personality like Brahmaji refuses to be addressed as the Supreme Lord by his disciples or subordinates, but foolish persons praised by men of the nature of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses feel flattered to be addressed as the Supreme Lord. Why such persons take pleasure in being addressed as God, or why such persons are addressed as God by foolish admirers is explained in the following verse. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Why the foolish people call Brahmaji as the creator? That he is the only the sub-creator. Everything, his creation is dependent on Krishna's mercy. विलज्जमानया यस्य स्थातु निक्षापथे मुयां विमोहिता विकथन्ते महाहमिति दुर्धियः विलज्जमानाय. One who is ashamed, yasya, who is sthatum, to stay, ikshapathe, in front, amuya, by the bewildering energy, vimohitaha, those who are bewildered, vikathante, talk nonsense, mama, it is mine, aham, I am everything, thus, vituparate, durdiha, thus ill-conceived. So this illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. But those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense. They are absorbed in I and mine. It is I, it is mine. So illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence. It cannot even stand. But then the entire world is bewildered. It cannot stand before the Supreme Lord. Chaya Shakti. No? But still, the one who is bewildered by her position, what they say? I and mine. This is mine, in this way. Amala Krishna Prabhu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Text 13. Vilajyamanaya yasya sthatum ikshapathe muga vimohita vikathante mam ahamiti durdhyaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The illusionary energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position, but those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine. Purport. The invincibly powerful deluding energy of the personality of God, or the third energy, representing nescience, can bewilder the entire world of animation, but still she is not strong enough to be able to stand in front of the Supreme Lord. Essence is behind the personality of Godhead, where she is powerful enough to mislead the living beings, and the primary symptom of bewildered persons is that they talk nonsense. Nonsensical talks are not supported by the principles of Vedic literature, and first grade nonsense talk is it is it is mine, it is I. A godless civilization is exclusively conducted by such false ideas and such persons without any factual realization of God, except a false God or falsely declare themselves to be God to mislead persons who are already bewildered by the deluding energy. Those who are before the Lord, however, and who surrender unto Him cannot be influenced by the diluting energy. Therefore, they are free from the misconception of it is I, it is mine. And therefore, they do not accept a false God or pose themselves as equal to the Supreme Lord. Identification of the bewildered person is distinctly given in this verse. Mataji, in purport, it is written, diluting energy of personality of God or the third energy. The other two energies are superior, inferior, external, internal, or any others?
Superior are internal energy and marginal energy. They are considered superior energy.
So this delusion energy is marginal.
No, religious energy is material energy, external energy.
No, this could a third energy. So in total, what are the three energies?
Out of three energy, deluding energy is the material energy. It has the capacity to delude the living entities who come in the material, in the marginal energy.
Oh.
If a person takes up devotional service, he is not deluded in this concept of I and mine. He
It
comes
is
out
not
of
that.
this
It is not that external energy of the Lord. That is separate.
external energy is only deluding energy.
Achha, this is the same thing. So then why it is called third energy? Internal,
Third,
external,
no?
superior, inferior. Then
It
these
is
are
third
two.
only.
No.
No? It is third only, na? Because in the superior there are two. Internal and marginal, they come in two. Because again, marginal Jiva Shakti has Chetana, na? It has Chetana. It has
Okay.
consciousness. That is why aparayam itastvanyam. Prakritim aparayam itastvanyam. Even if you see seventh chapter, Bhumira ponano vayu kammano buddhirevacha. After that, the next verse you see, aparayam itastvanyam prakritim bhaktim me para jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam dharite jagat. It has the capacity to manipulate the matter. Jiva Shakti has the capacity. That is why it is included in the Parashakti,
Okay.
superior energy. Over. Next. Dravyam karma च कालश्च स्वभावो जीव एव च वासुदेवात् परो ब्रह्मन् चान्योऽर्थोऽस्ति तत्त्वतः. Dravyam is elementary ingredients of creation. Earth, water, fire, air, and sky. Karma, interaction. Kala, eternal time. Swabhava, intuition or nature. Jiva, the living being. Eva, certainly. Cha, and Vasudeva, from Vasudeva. Paraha, differentiated parts. Brahman, O Brahman, O Brahmana. Na, never. Cha, also. Anyaha, separate. Artha, value. Asti, there is. Tattvatah, in truth. The five elementary ingredients of creation. The interaction set up by eternal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living entities are all differentiated part and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In truth, there is no other value in them. So these elements, that is Mahatattva, has been given by Lord. Again, the three modes of material nature has been given by Lord. Then the every individual's nature, that is karma, that also comes. The time. So everything is again differentiated part and parcel. How this whole thing is created by this. So he is the cause of all the causes. He has already given all this. Sub creation is done by Brahmaji. It's only a sub creation. Brahmaji is speaking all these things to Narada. Narada wanted to know how this whole creation happens. Is there someone who is superior than you because you are always seen in meditation? He said, yes, it's the supreme. Out of ignorance, people think that I am the creator. But Lord has already given this five set of material elements. He has given eternal time. He has given the individual souls. Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti already has been Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti already has been infused in the Mahatattva. So three things already has been given by Lord. Mahatattva, Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti. Okay. Adi Satviki Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I'm still trying to find out which one you were reading.
14 verse.
14. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm late. Yeah. 14. Verse 14. Dravyang karma cha kalasya swabhavo jiva eva cha vasudevat paro brahman na chanyahartha hasti tattataha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The five elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by eternal time, and the intuition or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. And in truth, there is no other value in them. Purport. The phenomenal world is impersonally the representation of Vasudeva because the ingredients of its creation, their interaction and the enjoyer of the resultant action. The living being are all produced by the external and internal energies of Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 5. The ingredients, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, as well as the conception of material identity, intelligence, and the mind, are produced of the external energy of the Lord, the living entity who enjoys the interaction of the above gross and subtle ingredients as set up by eternal time is an offshoot of eternal potency, with freedom to remain either in the material world or in the spiritual world. In the material world, the living entity is enticed by deluding nescience, but in the spiritual world, he is in normal condition of spiritual existence without any delusion. The living entity is known as the marginal potency of the Lord. But in all circumstances, neither the material ingredients nor the spiritual parts and parcels are independent of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva. For all things, whether products of the external, internal, or marginal potencies of the Lord, are simply displayed on the same effulgence of the Lord, just as light, heat, and smoke are displays of fire. None of them are separate from the fire. All of them combine together to be called fire. Similarly, all phenomenal manifestations are, as well as the effulgence of the body of Vasudeva, are his impersonal features, whereas he eternally exists in his transcendental form called Satchidananda Vigraha, distinct from all conceptions of material ingredients mentioned above. Thank you, Mataji.
Narayana Paraveda Deva Narayanangaja Narayana Paraloka Narayana Paramakaha. The Lord Para, who is a cause, Para, who is beyond Para Vedaha. He is beyond even, he is the cause of the knowledge. He is meant for knowledge. Para. Devaha Narayana. All the devatas are meant to serve him. Angajaha. There is assisting hands. Narayana para lokaha. Again, all the material, all the different planets are also meant to serve Lord. Narayana para makhaha. The different yajnas are done, sacrifices are done to please him. Narayana para Veda. Through the Vedas, Narayana has to be known. Or Narayana is even beyond Vedas. Angajaha, they are all the different part and parcel. So in this way, same like this verse was there even in the first canto of Bhagavatam, second chapter. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makaha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriya. You have this even in the first canto, second chapter. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Kriya, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Makaha. Okay. Read Krishna Priya Mataji, read.
Yeah, I'm traveling actually. So I
Hare Krishna Mataji. Narayan para Veda, Deva Narayanangajaha, Narayan para Loka, Narayan para Makha. Translation: the Vedic literatures are made by and are meant for the Supreme Lord. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as parts of his body. The different planets are also meant for the sake of the Lord, and different sacrifices are performed just to please him. Purport: according to the Vedanta Sutras, the Supreme Lord is the author of all revealed scriptures, and all revealed scriptures are for knowing the Supreme Lord. Veda means knowledge that leads to the Lord. The Vedas are made just to revive the forgotten consciousness of the conditioned souls, and any literature not meant for reviving God consciousness is rejected at once by the Narayan Para devotees. Such deluding books of knowledge, not having Narayan as their aim, are not at all knowledge, but are the playgrounds for crows who are interested in the rejected refuse of the world. Any book of knowledge, science or art, must lead to the knowledge of Narayan, otherwise it must be rejected. That is the way of advancement of knowledge. The supreme worshipable deity is Narayan. The demigods are recommended secondarily for worship in the relation to Narayan because the demigods are assisting hands in the management of the universal affairs. As the officers of a kingdom are respected due to their relation to the king, the demigods are worshipped due to their relation to the Lord. Without the Lord's relation, worship of the demigods is unauthorized, avidhi purvakam, just as it is improper to water the leaves and branches of a tree without watering its root. Therefore, the demigods are also dependent on Narayan. The lokas or different planets are attractive because they have different varieties of life and bliss, partially representing the Satchidananda Vigraha. Everyone wants the eternal life of bliss and knowledge. In the material world, such an eternal life of bliss and knowledge is progressively realized in the upper planets, but after reaching there, one is inclined to achieve further progress along the path back to Godhead. Duration of life with a proportionate quantity of bliss and knowledge may be increased from one planet to another. One can increase the duration of life to thousands and hundreds of thousands of years in different planets, but nowhere is there eternal life. But one who can reach the highest planet, that of Brahma, can aspire to reach the planets in the spiritual sky where life is eternal. Therefore, the progressive journey from one planet to another culminates in reaching the supreme planet of the world, supreme planet of the Lord, Madham. where life is eternal and full of bliss and knowledge. All different kinds of sacrifices are performed just to satisfy Lord Narayana with a view to reach him, and the best sacrifice recommended in this age of Kali is Sankirtan Yajna, the mainstay of the devotional service of Narayan per devotee. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So the demigods are his part and parcel, and demigods are meant to serve him. Narayana Paro Yogam, Narayana Param Tapah, Narayana Param Jnanam, Narayana Paragatihi. Through the yoga or concentration of the mind, one has to know Narayana, has to meditate upon Narayana. And austerity is meant to achieve him. Jnanam, again, culture of knowledge, cultivation of the knowledge, is meant to know Narayana. And one's goal of life is to reach him, is to enter the kingdom of Narayana. Narayana Para Yoga, Narayana Param Tapaha. That means all our activities are meant to achieve Narayana. Okay, Amala Krishna read Prabhu.
नारायण परो योगो नारायण परम तपः नारायण परम ज्ञानम नारायण परागतिः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All different types of meditation or mysticism are means for realizing Narayana. All austerities are aimed at achieving Narayana. Culture of transcendental knowledge is for getting a glimpse of Narayana, and ultimately salvation is entering the kingdom of Narayana. Purpose. In meditation, there are two systems of yoga, namely Ashtanga Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is the practice of concentrating the mind, releasing oneself from all engagements by the regulative process of meditation, concentration, sitting postures, blocking the movements of the internal circulation of air, etc. Sankhya Yoga is meant to distinguish the truth from ephemerals, but ultimately both the systems are meant for realizing the impersonal Brahman, which is but a partial representation of Narayana, the personality of Godhead. As we have explained before, the impersonal Brahman effulgence is only a part of the personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is situated on the person of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such, Brahman is the glorification of the personality of Godhead. This is confirmed both in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Matsya Purana. Gati refers to the ultimate destination or the last word in liberation. Oneness with the impersonal Brahm Jyoti is not the ultimate liberation. Superior to that is the sublime association of the personality of Godhead in one of the innumerable spiritual planets in the Vaikuntha sky. Therefore, the conclusion is that Narayana, or the personality of Godhead, is the ultimate destination for all kinds of yoga systems as well as all kinds of liberation. Hare Krishna.
तस्यापि द्रष्टु ईशस्य कूटस्थस्याखिलात्मनः सृज्यं सृजामि सृष्टोऽहम् ईक्षैवाभिचोदितः तस्यापि तस्य his अपि certainly drashtuh of the seer ईशस्य of the controller कूटस्थस्य of the one who is over everyone's intelligence akhila atmanah the super soul sujam that which is already created sujami do I discover srishtah created aham myself ikshaya by glance over evah sat exactly abhijyotidah being inspired by him only I discovered what is already created by him. What new thing I did? He says I'm like a scientist. I discovered only what has been. What is scientist's work? Research, na? Research. That means you're searching again. research. So whatever he has discovered, whatever he has created, I have only discovered it. And that too under his vision as all pervading super soul. And I also am created by him only. He is making me see it by his vision. That is why I'm able to discover it. And that is also inspired by him only. Okay. And I'm also created by. Okay. Kusum, read.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. तस्यापि द्रष्टुरीशस्य कूटस्थस्याखिलात्मनः सृजामि सृष्टोऽहम् इक्षयैवाभिचोदितः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Inspired by him only, I discover what is already created by him, Narayana, under his vision as the all-pervading super soul, and I also am created by him only. Perfect. Even Brahma, the creator of the universe, admits that he is not the actual creator, but is simply inspired by the Lord Narayana, and therefore creates under his superintendence those things already created by him, the super soul of all living entities. Two identities of soul, the super soul and the individual soul, are admitted to be in the living entity even by the greatest authority of the universe. The super soul is the supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, whereas the individual soul is the eternal servitor of the Lord. The Lord inspires the individual soul to create what is already created by the Lord, and by the goodwill of the Lord, a discoverer of something in the world is accredited as the discoverer. It is said that Columbus discovered the Western Hemisphere, but actually the tract of land was not created by Columbus. The vast tract of land was already there by the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord, and Columbus, by dint of his past service unto the Lord, was blessed with the credit of discovering America. Similarly, no one can create anything without the sanction of the Lord, since everyone sees according to his ability. This ability is also awarded by the Lord according to one's willingness to render service unto the Lord. One must, therefore, be voluntarily willing to render service unto the Lord, and thus the Lord will empower the doer in proportion to his surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord, therefore, he has been empowered or inspired by the Lord to create such a universe as the one manifested before us. The Lord also inspired Arjuna to fight in the field of Kurukshetra as follows. Tasmatvam uttishta yasho labhasva jitva satrun भुङ्स्व राज्यं समृद्धं मया वैते निहता पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Bhagavad Gita 11.33. The battle of Kurukshetra or any other battle at any place or at any time is made by the will of the Lord, for no one can arrange such mass annihilation without the sanction of the Lord. The party of Duryodhana insulted Draupadi, a great devotee of Krishna, and she appealed to the Lord as well as to all the silent observers of this unwarranted insult. Arjuna was then advised by the Lord to fight and take credit, otherwise, the party of Duryodhana would be killed anyway by the will of the Lord. So Arjuna was advised just to become the agent and take the credit for killing great generals like Bhishma and Karna. In the Vedic writings, such as the Katha Upanishad, the Lord is described as a Sarva Bhuta Antaratma, or the personality of Godhead who resides in everyone's body and who directs everything for one who is a soul surrendered unto him. Those who are not surrendered souls are put under the care of the material nature, Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantrarudhani Mayaya. Therefore, they are allowed to do things on their own account and suffer the consequences themselves. Devotees like Brahma and Arjuna do not do anything on their own account, but as fully surrendered souls, they always await indications from the Lord. Therefore, they attempt to do something which appears very wonderful to ordinary vision. One of the Lord's names is Urukrama, or one whose actions are very wonderful and are beyond the imagination of the living being. So the actions of his devotees sometimes appear very wonderful due to the direction of the Lord. Beginning from Brahma, the topmost intelligent living entity within the universe, down to the smallest ant, every living entity's intelligence is overseen by the Lord in his transcendental position as the witness of all actions. The subtle presence of the Lord is felt by the intelligent man who can study the psychic effects of thinking, feeling, and willing. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति निर्गुणस्य गुणास्तमया स्थिति सर्गनिरोधेषु गृहीता मायया विभुः स्थिति सर्गनिरोधेषु गृहीता मायया विभुः सत्त्वं रजस्तमः इति निर्गुणस्य. Lord is beyond all these things. Lord is beyond the three modes of material nature, nirgunasya. But for the sake of creation, maintenance, and relation, he accepts through his external energy the modes of material nature, called goodness, passion, and ignorance. Though he is beyond, he is accepting it. He is not influenced. He is just accepting it. And in this way, three Kala avatars emanate: Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha. Okay. Adi Satvik read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Verse 18. Satyang rajastama iti nirgunasya gunastrayaha sthiti sarga niradhesu grihita mayaya vibhaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord is pure spiritual form, transcendental to all material qualities, yet for the sake of the creation of the material world and its maintenance and annihilation, he accepts through his external energy the material modes of nature called goodness, passion, and ignorance. Purport: the Supreme Lord is the master of the external energy manifested by the three material modes, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, and the master of energy. He is ever unaffected by the influence of such bewildering energy. The living entities, the jivas, however, are affected by or susceptible to being influenced by such modes of material nature. That is the difference between the Lord and the living entities. The living entities are subjected by those qualities, although originally the living entities are qualitatively one with the Lord. In other words, the material modes of nature, being products of energy of the Lord, are certainly connected with the Lord. But the connection is just like that between the master and the servants. The Supreme Lord is the controller of the material energy, whereas the living entities who are entangled in the material world are neither masters nor controllers. Rather, they become subordinate to or controlled by such energy. Factually, the Lord is eternally manifested by his eternal potency or spiritual energy, just like the sun and its rays in the clear sky. But at times, he creates the material energy, as the sun creates a cloud in the clear sky. As the sun is ever increasing unaffected by a spot of cloud, so also the unlimited Lord is unaffected by the spot of material energy manifested at times in the unlimited span of the Lord's rays of Brahma Jyoti. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, in the translation,
Yeah.
in the translation, this sentence is there that Lord accepts through his external energy the material modes of nature called goodness, passion, and faith. How do we understand it? Lord accepts through his external energy.
Through his external energy. External energy has these three modes of material nature, na? So through his external energy, he accepts these three modes of material nature. Simple.
External energy created by the Lord, it is his energy, no? So
He
external energy creates the three modes. And
see.
modes are already an indirect or remote part of the Lord, no? I am concerned here, he accepts through his external energy. What does this mean?
See, three modes of material nature is a part of external energy. It is
Yes.
Lord who has created. External energy doesn't have the capacity to create. Everything is created by him only. Through now it has been given. It is a part, na? Part of external energy is three modes of material nature.
Yes.
Through the material external energy, he is accepting it.
Okay. Means they are not an integral part of the Lord. Whenever creation is there, external energy
How
creates
can
three
it
modes,
become an
and through
integral
three
part?
modes, all
No.
the other things are created. Oh.
In that internal energy, how three modes of material energy can become internal part? It is not internal energy,
Okay.
it is external energy. And that external energy is one of the characteristics of the external energies, three modes of material nature. That is the most important aspect of external energy. So through the
Okay.
external energy, Lord is accepting these three modes of material nature.
Okay.
Okay, 19. कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे द्रव्यज्ञानक्रियाश्रयाः बध्नाति नित्यदा मुक्तं मायिनं पुरुषं गुणः कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे कार्य इफेक्ट कारण कार्य कारण कर्तृत्वे कर्तृत्वे means activities. What is the effect? What is the cause? Dravya, material. Jnana, kriya, ashraya, knowledge. Manifested in such symptoms, kriya, ashraya. Badnati, conditions. Nityada, eternally. Muktam, transcendental. Mayinam, affected by material energy. Purusham, the living entity. Gunaha, the material modes. These three modes of material nature being further manifested as matter, knowledge, and activities, put the eternally transcendental living entity under conditions of cause and effect and make him responsible for such activities. So, these three modes of material nature being further manifested as matter, knowledge, and activities. Now, the see, external energy has these three modes of material nature. Now, again, it manifests as what? Matter. Because of the three modes of material nature, we have different types of matter which is manipulated. Matter, again, knowledge, activity. And in this way, the eternally transcendental living entity are put in conditions of cause and effect. And in this way, make him only responsible. Because of you, you are only responsible. It is not the matter which is responsible. You desired, that is why you wanted. It is because of you. As you making him only responsible. But actually, the three modes of material nature being further manifested as again the three modes of there is matter, knowledge, and activities. Okay. But all these things, activities, everything is making the eternally transcendental living entity come in certain conditions of cause and effect. That means the living entities, because of the influence of the three modes of material nature, they are performing activities. There is a cause for it, there is an effect. That is what is given karya karana kartatva. Kartatva means activities. What is the cause? Is previous life impressions. What is the effect? Some effect will be there. You do some work, then some effect is there. What is the purpose? What is the cause of it? Cause of it is his own karmas are the cause to do further karmas. Okay. So who is helping that? How is it done?
Three
How the
modes.
activity is done? By the three modes of material nature. Any activity, you want to sleep, you require three modes of material nature. You want to wake up early in the morning, you require. You want to help someone, you require. You want to create, you want to do hard work. So all these things, three modes of material nature is required for every creation of matter, for knowledge also, and for the activities also. There's three modes of material nature. Prakrute kriyamanani, gunakarmani sarvashaha. Ahankaritiyam me binna prakriti rashtada. I think I combined the two words, sorry. Prakriti kriyamanani, gunakarmani sarvashaha. Because of this prakriti, which is containing the three modes of material nature, this is the real cause of every work, and there is an effect for every work, and also for activity also it is required. It is the cause also for an activity. Okay, cause effect kartritve. Three things are given, say karya karana kartritve. For doing any karya, you require three modes of material nature. It is the cause. What is the effect? Again, the effect is the three modes of material nature only. Something comes out in that only. And kartritve. Even the working, the activities also depending on the three modes of material nature. Everything. Okay, Vimla, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. कार्य कारण कर्तृत्वे द्रव्य ज्ञान क्रियाश्रया भग्न बधन्ति नित्यदा मुक्तं मायिनं पुरुषं गुणः. Translation: These three modes of material nature, being further manifested as matter, knowledge, and activities, put the eternally transcendental living entity under conditions of cause and effect and make him responsible for such activities. Purport: Because they are between the internal and external potencies, the eternally transcendental living entities are called the marginal potency of the Lord. Factually, the living entities are not meant to be so conditioned by material energy, but due to their being affected by the false sense of lording it over the material energy, they come under the influence of such potency and thus become conditioned by the three modes of material nature. This external energy of the Lord covers up the pure knowledge of the living entities eternally existing with him. But the covering is so constant that it appears that the conditioned soul is eternally ignorant. Such is the wonderful action of Maya, or external energy, manifested as if materially produced. By the covering power of the material energy, the material scientist cannot look beyond the material causes, but factually, behind the material manifestations, there are adhibhuta, adhyatma, and adideva actions, which the conditioned soul in the modes of ignorance cannot see. The Abhidut manifestations entails repetitions of birth and deaths with old age and diseases. The Adhyatma manifestation conditions the spirit soul, and the Adhidaiva manifestation is the controlling system. These are the material manifestations of cause and effect and the sense of responsibility of the conditioned actors. They are, after all, manifestations of the conditioned state, and the human being's freedom from such a conditioned state is the highest perfectional attainment. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So there are Adhibhuta, Adhyatma, Adhideva actions in which the conditioned soul in the mode of ignorance, which the conditioned soul in the mode of ignorance cannot see. Adhibhuta, the external people giving, outside people giving. Outside, Adhibhuta. Adhyatma, mind and body interactions, Adhideva. The devatas give actions, the devatas giving the control of the devatas, you can say. So this cannot be seen. And Adhibhuta means elementary actions. Elementary actions, what elementary actions are there? These cannot be. So here entails repetition of birth and death with old age and disease. Adhibhuta. Adhyatma conditions the spirit soul. Adhideva, controlling system. Sa esha Bhagavan lingais त्रिभिरेतैरदोक्षजः स्वलक्षितगतिर्ब्रह्मन् सर्वेषां ममचेश्वरः. सह ही Eshah, this Bhagavan, the personality of God, Lingahi, by the symptoms, Tribhi, by the three, Etahi, by all these, Adokshajaha, the superseer transcendence, Sulakshitaha, veritably unseen, Gatihi, movement, Brahman, O Narada, Sarvesham, O everyone, Mama, mine, Cha, as also, Ishvaraha, the controller, O Brahmana, Narada, the superseer, the transcendental knowledge, Lord, is beyond the perception of the material senses of the living entities because of the above mentioned three modes of material nature. But he is a controller of everything, including me. Sarvesham Mama. He is my also control. He controls me. He is beyond the three modes of material nature. That means his activities are not influenced by the three modes of material nature. Okay, Amal Prabhu read.
सा एष भगवान् लिङ्गस्य त्रिभिरेतरधोक्षजः सुवलक्षितगतिर्ब्रह्मन् सर्वेषां मम च ईश्वरः. Translation. O Brahman Narada, the superseer, the transcendent Lord, is beyond the perception of the material senses of the living entities because of the above mentioned three modes of nature. But he is the controller of everyone, including me. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.24-25, the Lord has declared very clearly that the impersonalist who gives more importance to the transcendental rays of the Lord as Brahma Jyoti and who concludes that the absolute truth is ultimately impersonal and only manifests a form at a time of necessity is less intelligent than the personalist, however much the impersonalist may be engaged in studying the Vedanta. The fact is that such impersonalists are covered by the above mentioned three modes of material nature. Therefore, they are unable to approach the transcendental personality of the Lord. The Lord is not approachable by everyone because he is contained by his Yogamaya potency. But one should not wrongly conclude that the Lord was formerly unmanifested and has now manifested himself in the human form. This misconception of the formlessness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is due to the Yogamaya curtain of the Lord and can be removed only by the Supreme Will as soon as the conditioned soul surrenders unto Him. The devotees of the Lord, who are transcendental to the above mentioned three modes of material nature, can see the all blissful transcendental form of the Lord with their vision of love in the attitude of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Last verse. Kalam karma swabhavam cha mayesho maya swaya atman yadruchaya praptam vibhush vibhubhu vibhubhushuru padade. Kalam karma, eternal time. Karma, the fate of the living entity. Swabhavam, nature, cha also. Maya, potency. Ishaha, the controller. Maya, by the energy. Swaya, of his own. Atmanam, unto his self. Vidruchaya, independently. Praptam, merged, being merged on. Merged in. Vibhu, vibhubhushu, appearing differently. Upadade, accepting as for being created again. The Lord, who is a controller of all the energies, thus creates by his own potency, eternal time, the fate of all living entities and their particular nature for which they were created, and he again merges them independently. He creates them by his own potency and he creates them by the eternal time. The karmas are the cause of the creation, their vasanas, their particular nature, as a cause of their creation. So again they are created and then again they are merged independently. For creation, all these things are required. That is his potency, eternal time, his fate, and his the particular nature. Again they are annihilated. Okay? Kusum read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. कालं कर्म स्वभावं च मायेषु मायया स्वया आत्मन् यच्चया प्राप्तं विभो भूसुर उपाददे. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord, who is the controller of all energies, thus creates by his own potency, eternal time, the fate of all living entities and their particular nature for which they were created, and he again merges them independently. Purport: the creation of the material world, wherein the conditioned souls are allowed to act subordinately by the Supreme Lord, takes place again and again after being repeatedly annihilated. The material creation is something like a cloud in the unlimited sky. The real sky is the spiritual sky, eternally filled with the rays of the Brahma Jyoti, and a portion of this unlimited sky is covered by the Mahatattva cloud of the material creation, in which the conditioned souls who want to lord it against the will of the Lord are put into play as they desire under the control of the Lord by the agency of his external energy. As the rainy season appears and disappears regularly, the creation takes place and is again annihilated under the control of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8.19. So, the creation and annihilation of the material worlds is a regular action of the Lord, just to allow the conditioned souls to play as they like and thereby create their own fate of being differently created again in terms of their independent desires at the time of annihilation. The creation, therefore, takes place at a historical date, as we are accustomed to think of everything which has a beginning in our tiny experience. The process of creation and annihilation is called anadi, or without reference to date regarding the time the creation first took place, because the duration of even a partial creation is 86,400 lakh years. The law of creation is, however, as mentioned in the Vedic literatures, that it is created at certain intervals and is again annihilated by the will of the Lord. The whole material or even the spiritual creation is a manifestation of the energy of the Lord, just as the light and heat of a fire are different manifestations of the fire's energy. The Lord, therefore, exists in his impersonal form by such expansion of energy and the complete creation rests on his impersonal feature. Nonetheless, he keeps himself distinct from such creation as the Purnam or complete, and so no one should wrongly think that his personal feature is not existent due to his impersonal, unlimited expansions. The impersonal expansion is a manifestation of his energy, and he is always in his personal feature despite his innumerable unlimited expansions of impersonal energies. Bhagavad Gita 9.527. For human intelligence, it is very difficult to conceive how the whole creation rests on his expansion of energy, but the Lord has given a very good example in the Bhagavad Gita. It is said that although the air and atoms rest within the huge expansion of the sky, which is like the resting reservoir of everything materially created, still the sky remains separate and unaffected. Similarly, although the Supreme Lord maintains everything created by his expansion of energy, he always remains separate. This is accepted even by Shankaracharya, the great advocate of the impersonal forms of the Absolute. He says Narayana Paro Vyakta, or Narayana exists separately apart from the impersonal creative energy. The whole creation thus merges within the body of transcendental Narayana at the time of annihilation, and the creation emanates from his body again with the same unchanging categories of fate and individual nature. The individual living entities, being parts and parcels of the Lord, are sometimes described as Atma, qualitatively one in spiritual constitution. But because such living entities are apt to be attracted to the material creation actively and subjectively, they are therefore different from the Lord. Thank you, Mataji Hare Krishna.
Okay. So the cause of creation has been spoken here. That is the three modes of material nature. Karana, Kartatvehe. So in this, what is it? Karana. What is, how are the activities that has been given? The three modes of material nature is the cause, is the effect, Karya, Karana, Kartatvehe. Stop here.
Mataji, Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I am a bit confused about this because it is saying the Lord creates, but is there previous life's karma, isn't it?
Yeah, so Lord has to give such effect also. He is giving that effect. So creation is not only dependent on Lord's potency, it is dependent on the fate of every living entity. So Lord creates with that karma by his potency. He creates by his karma, by his potency works when he sees the fate and the particular and that eternal time, he takes the assistance of his another energy, that is eternal time. So Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, they are infused in this modes of material nature, Mahatattva. So when they are infused in the time span, the effect, the cause, the effect, the activities, everything is dependent on these three modes of material nature. And that is dependent on his karma. A person is in
Yeah.
Sato. Why? Because in that previous life he has done such karma.
Yes.
Modes are dependent on his karma also.
Mm.
Our every activity is dependent on our past activities. The gunas, what we have got, the gunas by which we are working. Okay. That is dependent on.
Mataji, when is our next exam?
I have to check with Bindu Mataji. How many
Okay.
exams you given? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, generally, I mean, previously we were doing after every 3 chapters.
You did not. 3 you did not. 1, 2, 3 is over.
Yeah.
So
This is
now,
5th.
yeah, 4, 5, 6 will be there now. After 6th. After 3, the exam was done or not?
No, it is no. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, 1, 2, 3 exam is not done.
No.
So what we can do is 1 to 5 we'll keep it. How many other chapters are there in this? 10 is there. So we can keep 2 terms. After 5th, we'll keep an exam.
Okay.
Directly again after 5th. 5, 5. Okay? Okay. One chapter with the
Thank
revision.
you, dearie.